Hello, this is Jeff. I am here to talk with you about the close conjunctions of Venus and Mars and Venus and Jupiter in the fall of 2017. Venus has been the bright morning star shining before sunrise in the eastern sky during spring and summer in 2017. On September 11th, Venus was shining brightly in the morning sky, along with the star Regulus and the planet Mercury were very low in the sky. This chart, made with data from the United States Naval Observatory, shows the morning sky, in particular relative to sunrise, the zero line on this chart. And all of the planets, the visible planets, have been calculated their rising times compared to sunrise up to 5 hours before sunrise. Notice this green line that extends across the chart. This happens to be the Venus rising line. This bright morning star came up in the springtime, rising earlier and earlier up until the middle of summer, early summer. It was rising 3 hours before sunrise. And now, as we get into fall, it is rising sooner and sooner, earlier and earlier, or later and later, closer to sunrise. And there are a couple events here that we note. Notice here in October that Venus and Mars rise at about the same time. That indicates these two planets will be somewhat close together. Also notice that Jupiter and Venus will be rising at about the same time in November. Also notice that Venus rises at the same time as some of these stars as well. But we want to note here Mars and Venus when they are rising at about the same time. Also note here as we go through this that this rising time here in November occurs during twilight. These three lines indicate the three variations of twilight. And so Venus and Jupiter rise during twilight here in November. Mars and Venus were close together last time, about 2 years ago, November 3rd, 2015, when they were extremely close in the morning sky. Also note that Jupiter was there as well. And notice the star Regulus was in the same region when these two planets were close. Sometimes we think of Mars as being incredibly bright, but when Venus and Mars are close together, Mars is actually far away from our planet, and so Mars is not then very bright, but Venus and Mars were very close together on this date. On October 5th, 2017, as we view here from our planet Earth, we can look out and see brilliant Venus in the morning sky, and on the same, close to the same line, we will also see planet Mars. Notice that they occur, this angle between the Sun, the Earth, and Venus is very small, and so this will occur somewhat when the planets are close, very close to the Sun. On the morning of October 5th, notice that these two planets are very close together and very low in the sky. According to the program Starry Night, the screenshot is from that program at 5:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. That's the time in the Chicago region. We're about over an hour before sunrise. These two planets will be close together and low in the sky. Venus very, very bright, and Mars not so bright. The other close conjunction this fall is with Venus and Jupiter. And they were last at close conjunction on August 27th, 2016, when they appeared almost as one object in the sky just after sunset. And back to our United States Naval Observatory data chart that we plotted in Excel. Notice here we have this conjunction of Jupiter and Venus as they are both rising at about the same time. And so this is an indicator, again, that they are close together at this particular time. At this particular conjunction, if we look back at the above chart like we did with Mars, notice that the Earth, Venus, Jupiter line, Sun line is much smaller. Venus and Jupiter appear to be much closer to the Sun than the Venus-Mars conjunction just about a month beforehand, as Venus is heading toward its superior conjunction, meaning it will appear behind the Sun, or really will be invisible to us, but goes behind the Sun and pops out then in the evening sky. Our challenge with these conjunctions is that Venus only gets about 47 degrees away from the Sun, and the planet has to be within this range for us to be able to see a conjunction of Venus and Jupiter, Venus and Mars, Venus and Saturn. So on this chart we have our planet Earth. Inside this little orbit is Venus. Our planet Earth is here, and we have Jupiter on the outside. Sometimes too, they can be too close to the Sun. If Jupiter is behind the Sun and Venus is behind the Sun, then the Sun is way too bright for us to see the planets in the sky, except of course during a total eclipse. And so we have these vantage points, so from when the planets are far enough away from the Sun to be seen, but we have to be close enough because Venus only gets about 47 degrees away from the Sun, and so then we have these windows of opportunity for us to see these conjunctions. And so here on the morning of November 13th at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, the clocks will be set back to standard time by then. This is about 40 minutes before sunrise in the Chicago area. So if you are looking for this close conjunction of Venus and Jupiter, notice they're very low in the sky. So it would be necessary to have a good clear horizon to see them. If you look at sunrise for your particular location, look 40 minutes before sunrise as you check those sunrise calculations for your place where you live. Find a good eastern horizon, and you can look out and find Venus and Jupiter. Also notice that Spica will be in the sky, as well as Mars, because Venus has passed by Mars. And we will also have a crescent moon in the sky on that morning. The next close conjunction of Jupiter and Venus will occur on January 22nd. It's not a real close one like this. It'll occur in the morning sky. There'll be one in the evening sky in November 2019, and a real close conjunction on February 11th, 2021, but it will be very, very close to the Sun, and the planets will be rising just about 25 minutes before sunrise. And so this epic conjunction, or epic meaning close conjunction, occurs every so often, and it has to be in the right place for us to see it. Otherwise, it's in sunlight, bright sunlight that we won't observe. So November 13th, 2017 is the time, 40 minutes before sunrise, is to take a look at the very next close conjunction of Venus and Jupiter.